Greatness, possibilities, now birth, anew, to failing, to obtain it, for his I decree it, declare it, and call it in the spirit. To become what God's designed me to be. Pregnant possibilities, pregnant possibilities, now birth, now birth. Now birth, anew, travailing, to obtain it, for I decree it, declare it, and call it in the spirit. I decree it, declare it, and call it in the spirit.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hold on, let me turn this down in my ear, and then let me make sure I don't get that echo feeling. Good, no echo feeling. Okay, guys, this is that Sunday countdown. This is that Sunday countdown before Pentecost season. Now we've been dealing with Pentecost for the last 40, 50 days, 50 days, right? So we got more. We got another week to go. We got another week to go for this countdown. And now we talked about Pentecost. We talked about Pentecostal power. We talked about how it relates inside the Christian fellowship for those. Now, understanding and the African fellowship. Let's get that real because we've been tapping into Pentecost power since we've been surrounded by the fire, playing the drum, dancing into a fervor until we can encounter that creative spirit. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. And so biblically, now we've been doing it historically since the beginning of the black man. What? Yes, encountering that physical power. We've been doing it. But in terms of the Christian community, they've taken it, right? As you know, when we sitting there going down the timeline, when you get down to Israel, which is the African experience in bondage. Woo! Let's talk about that. The African experience is in bondage and how to utilize their faith to overcome their oppression. And so the 12 disciples, we said the 12 disciples, after the passing of the revolutionary black Messiah, Jesus, after the master teacher is assassinated, we said that those he's was teaching went into an upper room during this festival. And they said they did not come out until they had the power from on high. And then we also had the scripture, we're going in reverse, where we talk about, when the day of Pentecost came, they were all together in one place. And we said that one place had something to do with everything. It wasn't just a location. It was the one place in their minds, the one place in their hearts. They were at one place in their spirit as a group, because they said we studied and studied under the master teacher, and now he's gone. And he always said, how long do I have to be with you before you learn? Because I'm not going to be here always. I'm not. Because he knew he was walking on a path where they were going to come and cut him down. Because you're trying to free a people from their bondage. Well, the government that's trying to hold you down is going to sort you out and kill you one by one because they don't want to lose the bondage they have over you. Does that sound like a situation that we live in currently? Think about it. Think about it. And think about when you tap in to your power, what you're supposed to do with it. Think about it. Think about it. And so they said, while they sat there, they said, suddenly a sound like a blowing violent wind came into from the heavens and filled the room where they were sitting. And they had fire within, that energy, that power, that cosmic power within. And we said, Pentecost season was the season that you tap into your friends, your family, those who are of like minds with you, so that you could gain what you're supposed to be gaining. And we discussed it in the beginning, is tapping into the power within. I got tons and tons of computers all the way around me, y'all. I was working on my new gaming system. So I got to move over. I got to move it over to move over. So now, tapping into the power within. Tapping into your warrior within, because inside you, God placed the power you need to accomplish the goals that he sends you for. Woo! And that's different. The goals that God sends you for. Now, we can use that power to what we see fit, or we can use the power for what God has called us to be. And if you listen to the song Manifest, I want those things to manifest in me, through me, to become what God has designed. I am a design of God. That's why there is no mistakes. Everything that you are is divinely placed in you, in your DNA. There is no mistakes. No mistakes. It doesn't matter whether or not you have individuals. My kid brother, we talked about him. Wow, we went to go visit him this week, me and Ayan. And I was talking to his daughter, his oldest daughter, another story. And we talking about tapping into the power within, tapping into that warrior. And Benny was born with the club leg. It was broke. It was all curled in. He couldn't walk straight. And they said they're going to have to break his foot, reset his bone, and he will always walk with a limp. And I said, no, my brother's not. He's not. And I didn't understand what I was speaking. I was declaring into his life, but he's not. And so every day, all day. We would sit as an infant. I would massage his leg all day. I could watch a movie and sit there with that baby and he sit down and he thought I was playing with his feet, but I was actually massaging his leg and the limbs and doing what I needed to do so that way they would grow strong. And every time he went to the doctor was amazed at how he was healing. And the fact that he said, wait a minute, this kid will have no limp. And not only that, the boy was a star athlete. Yes. He watched us play and he couldn't walk half the beginning of his life. He couldn't walk. When a kid is supposed to learn how to be walking, he couldn't because his leg was broke. And he had to have braces, then he had to have a cast, and he had to learn how to walk 3 different ways. First with the club foot when he was leaning on it, you know what I mean? Then they broke it. He had a cast. He had braces, and he had to learn how to balance on the braces where he couldn't walk regularly. He had to walk sideways, and then they took the braces off and they put the cast on. They had to learn how to walk with a cast, and then they took the cast off and he had to learn how to walk on his regular feet. And when it was over, all that training, all that prayer, all that work that me and him put in, the boy tapped into the speed that he is, the gifts that he was, and he's a testimony if he uses it. He has one leg has a basketball leg, and I talk to him a lot. I now realize he has a basketball leg, and then he has one straight leg. And it took us coming together as a brother and brother. I'm going to work with my brother to bring out the best in him. And even though that he was born in a particular way, that was his journey. God makes no mistakes. He brings you in as a design. He made him into a testimony that God is in the relationship of family and in the focus that he is going to walk upright and normal, and he will be able to be as good as anybody else. He was a star athlete. Sprayberry has plaques of him and trophies that they won with this brother. High school, and that's in Marietta for those who are not in Atlanta. All right, it's in Marietta, Sprayberry High. Benjamin Carter is his name. What? Tapping into the power within. It takes a group. It takes a group, and that's one of the things that we talked about in the beginning, because we wanted you to know that tapping into the power, that divine power, that Pentecostal circle of power, tapping into that power, you got to know who you ride with. We sat down and talked about that because it's here. We are at the countdown. We got 1 week. Who do you ride with? Who are you praying with? Who are you talking to? Who are you interacting with? Who do you ride with? That's important to Alkebulan. We bring Alkebulan together, black children together, so that they could ride with each other. They could grow up together. They could get to learn one another, interact with one another, help each other when each other's a weak, and build them up when they are, when they're strong. Continue making their strong stronger, making their weak strong. So there is no soft spots. There's no weak and leaning links. That's what the Pentecost power was. It was those individuals sitting in that room, sitting in that circle, talking and dealing with each other and helping each other realize in their mind, in their body, in their spirit, that God is. And they are to connect with one another where I am no different than you, you are no different than me, and they come together to do what God has called them to do. Woo! Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? That's exactly what this is. And so, we are at that countdown. We are at that countdown moment where you are hoping that by next Sunday, Pentecost Sunday, you are receiving an awareness of your greater power within. Woo. Because you have talked with your moms about some of the things that you need clarity with or help with. You have helped out in the house where you're having problems. Okay, who's washing the dishes this week? Who's cleaning up this week? You've prayed with somebody, or you've seen somebody who needs some encouragement, and you gave them encouragement because you're seeking some God to give you, to manifest within you. You have declared it, meaning that I know that I'm going to be and do what God has called me to do. You have decreed it. You are making these statements in your life as though things that they already are. You're saying things that I am smarter, I am faster, I am stronger, I am more loving, I am more caring, I am gifted, I am talented, I'm anointed, I'm in God's favor. And not only am I in it, but every black person that sees eye to eye with me, every black person that sits in my circle with me will benefit from the power that we as a group are tapping into. That's what we talk about. That's what this is. This is that opportunity to sit down and say, you know what? Hey, I am becoming what I'm called to be because this world needs me. Wow. Let's talk about that. This world needs me. And because we are going through so much in our lives as black people, we don't know what the world, we're sitting down when we talk about the world needs you. The world needs you. The world is changing. We are all still isolated. Companies have found ways to exist in the middle of the pandemic without having people working. So there are companies that didn't close. They downsized and they don't need to rehire. That's an issue. So at the economic foundation of this country is going to change. We need you. We need the minds of mathematics, the minds of engineers, the mind of scientists. We need you to help shape the world. And how are you going to do that if you don't tap into something in you that's greater? Wow. We got these viruses. We're going to need a cultural, more cultural representative in the CDC speaking on behalf of those of who melanated nature. Because we want to make sure that these vaccines that they're testing or they're producing are capable of being used in everybody. So people are, no knock if you got it. No knock if you got it. But we want to make sure that we were tested too, because one of the things they don't do, because normally when they're creating vaccines, they don't test them a lot on black people. They just don't. So we really don't know how it's going to affect us versus someone else, because we don't. And so we need you to tap into the power of who you are, because you need to be the scientist. You need to be the chemist. You need to be the doctors. You need to be the politicians speaking on our behalf. Tap into that power of who you are. We need to be able to develop our own level of research and medicines, where if something happens, we have our own doctors who understand our DNA, our structure, and can create these medicines for our body types. Because everybody's body type is not the same. It's not. We want to act like it is, but it's not. Melanated people are built completely different. Completely different. And we have to take a look at that. Manifest in who God designed you to be. Woo! And that's another name. Why are you so needed? Because he designed you for a reason of these particular times, where we have access, this internet access. Everybody's online. That's another thing that's happening. Everybody's online right now. And a lot of people are up online doing craziness. Massive other than us slowly, and it's slowly dying down, where we're seeing people, assassinated online. But what are we using it for, and who are we speaking to, and how are we lifting each other's spirits? We need the power in you, so that when you begin to speak online, it resonates in people, and it brings them something. Alkebulan Academy, you're being called out. You are being called out. Even in our own community, we have a generation transitioning over to the ancestral realm, and it's happening. I told the sister Ayana Crawley, hey, one love, Ayana, I love you. We had that conversation, and she's been fighting within the community to do more things for young adults. I said, hey, in another 15 years, leadership looks like the person I'm talking to, which was her. We need y'all to be ready to take over the mantle of leadership, but you got to get to where God has designed you to be. So when we release this power, or not even release it, because I don't wait for anybody to release leadership unto me. I create the leadership that God designed me to be. Hence, world of Alkebulan. I do what I do. I do what I do because it's what I'm called to be. I declare it, decree it, and I call it in the spirit. I speak to it as though it has been granted to me, and I go forward in it, and I seek more and more power as I do it. So should you. What do you imagine and you dream that God has called you to do? In this new reality that we're developing, we're online. How are you going to use the technologies that you're in? Woo, that's something to think. Are you calling yourself the things that you want in the spirit, so God blesses you with it, and you walk every day as you see it? Listen to the song when it plays. I might even play that on the way out, so you get it again. because it's coming manifest. We at the countdown, y'all. We at the countdown. And when we're dealing with this social unrest, they didn't do police reform. They still fighting off corona. So they can't even deal with how are you going to police reform, change the psychological mindset of those that we dub to be guardians of the law of the land in which we live. That's real talk. Because you can't pull your gun out real quick and shoot somebody who's melanated because you say you scared because they melanated. No, that's racism embedded. We got to be able to change that. So you got a lot to work on. You got a lot to work on because look, we have a generation out there walking in their Pentecostal power, trying to save something, trying to make the world a better place. They said, you know what? The only people who are going to manifest a better world in this life is us. So we got to fight for it. So one love to Black Lives Matter. I'm not saying I agree with all your approaches, but I agree with the purpose and the cause. One love. One love. You got to do it. We need you to manifest the power within. So we are on the countdown. We are on that countdown. Can you imagine? And I need this because this is the countdown. Look at the stars. Go outside since it's sunny. Feel the sun and your body, your cells react to it. Your skin reacts to it. That's the power of the Creator. Connect with the wind. Feel it how it makes you feel when it blows. Look at my grass. I need to get my grass cut and it's growing wild. Remember, just look at how nature works. That cosmic energy is inside of you and you're able to tap into it and use it for anything you need to use it for because God needs you. But he said, in order for me to use you, you have to, you come to me, you can come to me as individuals. But if you want that Pentecostal power, you can't get it without a group. Alkebulan, you're being called on. Little Africa, you're being called on. Every black child in the world, you're being called on because it's you that's got to change this world. It's you that's got to tap into this power. You're being called on as a group. World of Alkebulan seeks to be that foundation that we bring black kids all around the world together. All around the world together to do things in this world that saves our community, that builds on our community, that develops on our community. This is the countdown. Woo! I'm fired up. I told y'all this is my best season, but my best season because every time that Sunday comes, I'm going to put in everything I can. And man, what I've done this past Pentecost season, I've done something I've never done before. Ever done before. I tried to do it every day and it was hard. It was hard coming home and setting it up, the house so that, me and my daughter could meditate and we could meditate and pray together. It was hard. It was hard. It was difficult to do it every day. But I called together the people that I care about and say, yo, we need to meditate and pray together right now. Let's get it. And they were grateful for it. I said, we need to come together and manifest the greatest power of who we are. We have to, because we are the group that we have. That's it. That's it. Mother's Day, woo, was great. It was great because we honored the black woman. That was honoring my daughter and her mama. It was great. Honored my sisters, my aunts, my cousins, all of them. Why? Because that's the circle I have. I did promise myself after Pentecost that I'm going to reach out to the females in my family even more to thank them for who they are and who they have been. They stood up and I fight because I have a family full of women. And I be looking for the brothers. One love, Ishmael. Love you, brother. Looking for the brothers to stand up. Looking for my brothers to stand up and be what God has called us to be. Benny, salute you. You got the happiest family I've seen, brother. And that's my brother, Benny. 5 kids and they happy in the quarantine. What are you adding to your family circle? Because that's your circle of power. Who do you ride with? Everybody knows that my best friend is my daughter. Everybody knows my best friend is my daughter. And we have deep and profound conversations on a regular basis through the whole experience because we're tapping into power. I expect by Pentecost season that we wake up and when we have these conversations, we feel the power of the Creator within us, around us. It's a moment. It's that moment. That when you speak something, it comes straight to you. It's that moment. And that's what Pentecost is. It's the countdown, you guys. Y'all got a few more days to connect with your brothers and sisters. Connect with them in ways and just talk to them and laugh with them and interact with them and see the power within them and let them see the power within you. Connect with your parents. See the power within them and let them see the power within you. Do something constructive with your talents. Do something constructive with your talents. This is what I do with my talents. Last week we had a conversation and it lasts like 3.5 hours. It was me, Kalonji, and Brother Said from Texas on the African Speaks. And man, the response time that we got blew up. Why? Because we came together as a group of strong black men seeking to share ideas and commune with each other in terms of dialogue and share each other's energies and give positive energy to black folk, wisdom to black folk, something that they can eat, to digest, and grow with to change so that they can access their best self. Your best self is understanding who God called you to be and then you using that awareness to help liberate black people. What? We got to build a better black planet. And back in the day, if anybody's listening, your parents, Public Enemy, that Black Planet, Fear of the Black Planet, that's real. What would it look like if we were unified? Wait a minute, I'm gonna just drop this in by accident because I think I have this still in here. I have it in here. And oh wait, I'm almost past it. We're gonna drop this in, and I'm gonna swing this over, right? Pow. And let's see if we could do this. We could do this. Let's see if we could do this. What would we be if we were unified? Fear of a Black Planet. You understand why this is. Why is it that they feel that way? Why do we have to, what are we trying to experience in this lifetime? What are we trying to experience in this lifetime as black people? What type of world we want to produce? What type of things that we want to see? That's real for us. What are we trying to create? That's important to us. That's and so when I do this, wait, and I'm trying to do this. Let me get this because this is on the fly, you guys. This is definitely on the fly. I got a 124. Uh-oh, slide it over. I'm doing this on the fly, so y'all forgive me. And I'm just showing y'all this technology because this hit my spirit. And so I got to drop this like this. What? In seconds, I had to drop this like this. What do we want to see as black people walking this planet? We don't want to just look at the movies. We don't want to just see this in books. We want to feel what it feels like to be powerful all across the world. Have a unified nation all across the world. This is why the Wakanda movie was crazy. Why Black Panther was ridiculous. Because it showed you when you tap into your God power who we are as a people. Fear of a Black Planet. That don't mean we're going to be out there and be mean to people. No, it's going to mean that we're going to show them what love looks like. What creativity looks like. What ingenuity, your mental state looks like. That's why this was so important. What could it look like? And so this is that countdown. Alkebulan Academy, World of Alkebulan. This is the countdown. This is a call out for you because you are our future black world. This is it. This is it. So go meditate with your brother. Go play with your sister. Go talk about your dreams with your best friend of who you want to be when you grow up. Talk about those dreams and call them and say, I challenge you to do that and become that. And then follow them. Yesterday, wow. I'm sorry, I'm flowing. Just yesterday, my daughter went out with her friends. Her friends from college came. And one girl graduated Spelman. Ayana, you behind me? What's your friend name? Raven graduated. One love, Raven. You may not even see this, but I'm shouting you out. So Raven graduated from Spelman this week. Her friends from Ohio that they grew up with, who went to colleges all over the country, they come together and they said, look, it's Raven's graduation time. Somebody graduated last week and they had to all go to Las Vegas. Now all of them are in Atlanta. And then all of them are going to go somewhere else. And why? Because they said when they were young, we were friends and we following each other. So she says, Daddy, I got to go. Why? Because I got to celebrate my friend. And she met her through her friend. Raven was Jay. Jayla, hey, that's another daughter of mine. One love. Because Jayla said, Ayan, I'm in town to celebrate Raven. Ayan said, I'm there. Daddy, get me there. And we were right there. And then I disappear. And I said, call me when you're ready. And I dropped them off. They hanging out. Daddy, come get us. And of course, you know me. I'm going to be loud. Because they tapped into the power of who she is. She graduated. And these are not just students. These are elite students. Elite brains. They want, if out of 200, trust me, you're going to be either in the top 100 or the top 50 or the top 20. These kids are powerhouses. They're brains in their classes. They're brains. And she's going now. She's getting ready to go to grad school. What? Already accepted, packing up, ready to go. Why? Because she was able to connect with her friends and promise each other that we are all going to produce, and we're celebrating each other at every turn. Tap into the power of who you are. Get your friends to tap into the power of who they are. Get your family to tap into the power of who they are so that we can manifest that experience. This is what it is. We are at the countdown to Alkebulan. I'm calling you out. You're being called out to declare, to decree everything that you see in your imagination of who God has designed you to be. That's real. And you can't get no more real than that if you want to see it. Once you see it, declare it. Claim it. Tell God, that's what I want to accomplish. Not on your behalf. Not just for your behalf, but for God's people. Let's get that. Nobody needs to be. We don't celebrate individuals who was great individuals for themselves. That's not what happens during Black history. When we celebrate our ancestors, we don't do that. This guy was great and he did great things for him. No. You do great for your community, and that's when you know you're accessing your best self. When you are going to God and you're surrendering to the Creator and everything that God has placed in you. You're connecting to your heritage, your tradition. And you're looking at the gifts and talents, and despite whatever physical limitations you may have, you feel me? Because some individuals like talk about it. Benny had a club foot. Some people don't have, being raised by your grandma because you don't have parents. I know a young lady who's being raised by her grandmother because both her mother and father passed away. And she said, I'm going to be great because I'm still called to be great, but understand the circumstances in which she lives in. And this young lady, this 13-year-old young lady is fighting and she's doing the best that she can. Her mama's fighting, doing the best that she can. It's what it is. That's what Pentecost power is, tapping into it and still, regardless of circumstance, using that God power. Imagine, look at the thing. That's why I close it below. We have the cosmic power all around us, and even important, we have that cosmic power in us. And it's our desire. It depends on what we decide to do, whether or not we're going to tap into it and use it or not. Don't be here and just be. I don't just breathe, I live. And that's something that you got to get. Not just breathe, but live. Live to the fullest design in which you are. Live. Throw it in the basketball because y'all know I like to use sports to show you movies. I use everything really to show you some reality. Dwayne Wade was talking about, there's an interview talking about LeBron James. And in the interview, the brother was talking about LeBron James. He said, why is LeBron so great? And Dwayne Wade, wow. This is when you know who you walk with. Let me do this because I got to change. Because this image, without the story, you got to see this image. And it's not a basketball image. It is the image that we have with the kids sitting in the circle. Because you have to know who you ride with. Right? So in the story, dealing with LeBron and the warrior who he is, they said, why is he so LeBron? Meaning, why is that warrior so good? And again, tapping into the power of who you are and knowing who you ride with. Dwayne Wade sat down and he dropped his head and he smiled and he went like this. Wait, so you see this hand? He said, that's all God. You understand? A great basketball player playing with another great basketball player. He said, that's all God. God placed something in him that was different than everybody else. Now I'm a baller, but what he got is all God. You can't beat that. That's when you know who you ride with, the people who see the God in you and know that you are magnificent. You ain't there's some things that there's training, there's development, there's growth, there's understanding, there's the IQ, gaming IQ, and that's in every sport. But then there's that point when everybody trains hard. After a while, everybody's on a level plane. But then there's that one level up when you tap into the power within. But he knew who he was riding with. I'm not gonna be jealous of somebody. Not gonna be envious of somebody. I'm not gonna be mad at somebody. Why? Because I know who I ride with. The God that's in me is in the God that's in you. And I'm tapped into the best of me. And you're tapped into the best of you. But just because you do things that I can't doesn't mean it doesn't diminish me. Because God loves me just as much because I was able to tap in that power. And hopefully, like LeBron, Wade makes a decision, and I don't know how much he's healing the black world, but I know how much LeBron is healing the black world. It's a difference. It's what you know you tapped in the power with to your best self when you're using who you are to make the world around you better. Not because you just live in your own life. No. How do you heal the world that God created? We say that in African cosmology, African spirituality, we all come with medicine. The medicine that you come with is inside you. And you have to know the medicine that's in you. And when you get here, you're supposed to tap into your attributes and use that cosmic power to activate your medicine. And I always tell you, Alkebulan, it doesn't matter how old you are. You got medicine in you now that you can use today. You got medicine in you now that you could use today. Just surrender to God. See the God in you, see the God in everybody around you, and be great in your medicine. So how are you going to heal your medicine? Hmm. Some of us, even your parents, they don't know why they're here. Some of them say, I'm here to take care of you because that's all they have. It's because they didn't have the right group with them to show them what their medicine is. Of course, when you have kids as a parent, that is your first priority. Getting your kids, because now if you didn't reach who you are in your life, you can't take the time away from your kids. That's people don't get that. I'm not chasing a pipe dream. No, the minute I had my, Ayan shooting all the kids, I sat down and said, my job is to make sure that your foundation is there so that you can find the God in you. That's African cosmology. You don't keep chasing parents are not tending to their kids' foundation where they are manifesting the God in them. They're chasing their own pipe dreams. Mm-mm. Once you have kids, your grand design as a parent is to lead your children to their awareness of the God in them. That's why I said, kids, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. And Akibalan, you're being called out. You know you've learned to your best self when you are doing for the world around you. The little person standing in the back, I'm gonna say, is the representation of all black children. All black children is in that one body. All black children has that one mind. All black children that one spirit. That's why you only see one individual because you're not separate from each other. You're connected to each other. And like Ayan's friends who celebrate each other's graduations and promote the further of their education and even in their illnesses because some of them have autoimmune disorders. They support each other and making sure that they have when they living together, they had the right meals and they go, they exercise and they're doing everything they're supposed to do to move forward. That's when you know who you ride with because the people you ride with gonna keep you at your best. I watch those kids from Tuskegee. One love Tuskegee. I'm a Tuskegee dad. I hear them online studying together, talking to each other, explaining the mathematical problems that they're using. Because my daughter said, "Daddy, there are no more tutors for us. We reached the highest level of mathematics on campus where there are no tutors. We are our own tutors now. So we have to sit down and figure this out for ourselves." That's when you know who you ride with. But they're tapping into each other. This is the countdown, Akiba Lab. This is about you. And what we want you to do is manifest that Pentecostal circle of power where whoever you with today, see who you are, whoever you are with today, and ride it out. Ride it out. This is the countdown. Before we went live today, I was telling my daughter, I said, I got to go from the cuff. I got a feeling that this is what God needs me to say because we're on the countdown. Next week, we're going to try to do something special. If not, we still going to try to do something special, you know. But it is what it is. It's hard to bring people together to do things because of the COVID-19 and we all stretched out. But we're going to try something special next week. Hopefully, you get to see what it looks like when iron sharpens iron. That's going to be the title. When iron sharpens iron. Okay. And so that's what we're looking for. Pentecost season on this countdown this week. I'm gonna clean the house like I ain't never cleaned it before. I'm gonna cook food this week like I ain't never cooked it before. I'm gonna resolve some issues like I ain't never resolved before. I'm gonna love this week like I never loved before. I'm gonna talk to friends and family and make sure that I reach out. Usually when I hang up and I'm gonna play some music in the house, I'm gonna bless the ancestors' work and everything and thanking them and put them on a course to put some more work in. I'm gonna give God all praises like I'm doing everything I'm gonna do. Reach out to Kalonji again, and we're gonna have a great conversation come Monday. Me and Bakiba was supposed to get on and have a good conversation. I got to bring back Bakiba in. Y'all, Alkebulan, y'all can push it. I got to bring the National Youth Minister in. He's got to be heard and seen on a regular basis. I told him we can't build this if they don't hear you on a regular basis. Alkebulan alumni, we got to get you in on a regular basis. Once a week, once a month ain't working. Who you ride with? Let's do this, and we're gonna change this because next week it's time for us to tap into nothing but pure power, and we're gonna ride that until our next major holiday. Woo! I love Pentecost season because it's time we get to flex. This is it. I see you on the reverse side as you manifest the God power within, the same way the disciples did, the same way the disciples did, tapping into the God within. And I would love to hear what you dream about within you. We'll start calling individuals in to have those conversations. Who are you in God? Mm, that might be good. We'll see. See y'all later. One love. Manifest.